Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being a part of this day of America celebrating the birth of an American icon, the birth of an intrepid American stalwart, the birth of a First Amendment advocate, the birth of someone who has led the charge for decades for folks who understand a commonality of spirit, enjoying a veritable concatenation of vortices from all different aspects and all different demographics of these United States. That's right, my friends. Welcome to this as America celebrates not just a birthday, but the beginning, the vanguard, the scion, the bellwether of a revolution. A revolution the likes of which we have not seen before. A revolution that frankly has been a beautiful, wonderful conglomeration, a hodgepodge, a melange, a fusion of a rapier wit, scintillating dialogue, an absolutely encyclopedic knowledge of virtually everything, sometimes things that even matter. All of this brought together in this moment right now. So, my friends, I say welcome to you one and all. Welcome, welcome, welcome as we discuss this on this important day. And I'm so glad to be a part of this with you. Ladies and gentlemen, Debbie is here. Debbie, the first to traipse, to enter, to have a seat at the table, have some crumb cake, sit down. Welcome to this. This is a 12-step program of truth, my friends, of truth. So thank you and welcome. I'm so glad you could be here today. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Won't you be mine? Could you be mine? Would you be my neighbor? And I think you are neighbors. I think we are neighbors, all of us. Where do I even begin to say? First, I want you to understand that sometimes things change from day to day to day. Sometimes I will focus on something that matters. Sometimes I will focus on something that really doesn't. It's really up to you to interpret what I'm saying and to know the difference in any event. First and foremost, the topic today is something which many people do not understand. They don't grasp this. They don't grasp this. Cracker Barrel, Kamala Harris, the DNC summer meeting, and what is happening. I don't think people understand this. I don't think people get it. I don't think people grasp this whole thing. I don't think folks really understand how this thing works, how the summer meeting and the let me see. There's this group of people. The DNC opens up. You're going to love this. The DNC opens their summer meeting with land acknowledgement, claiming that the U.S. suppresses indigenous history. And it is brought to you. There was a woman named, what is her name? Yes. Lindy Salmick, treasurer for the Democratic Farmer Labor Party. She is interesting. She spoke. She introduced. She speaks. She is defined as a. I got to get this straight. I don't want to just say this. I don't want to use the wrong term. This is the mentality. Because let me tell you something. If you think these people are not, she is a. Let me see. Career. I want to get this. I want to get this. She is an indigenous queer woman, Lindy Salmick. And just look at Lindy Salmick. Look at Lindy Salmick. And when you see the word Sal, I don't want to be crude. I don't want to be gross. I don't want to be nasty. But this is, again, one of these unattractive radicals that the left does not understand, that the vast, not the majority, but most people find to be weird. And this is why these folks will never truly understand how things work. They don't understand how things work. Lendi Salmick, ladies and gentlemen. Lendi Salmick. Now, let me explain something. You might say to yourself, what am I doing in this beautiful house? No, you might say, what is happening specifically? What is happening regarding? What should I know? What is critical regarding this Cracker Barrel thing? Does this really matter? And the answer is yes. Yes, it really matters. And the reason why it matters is that it pulls us together and it forces us to realize just how lunatic this is. Cracker Barrel is something they did not understand. Did you see this? Did you see the letter? Now, normally I'm thinking to myself, I still can't believe that we are talking about this nonsense, but it's true. It's true. Let me see this. A message shared. This is the Cracker Barrel message. Let me give you an idea of this. This is important. A promise to our guests. If the last few days have shown us anything, it's how deeply people care about Cracker Barrel. We're truly grateful for your heartfelt voices. You've also shown us that we could have done a better job sharing who we are and who we always will be. What has not changed and will never change are the values that the company was built on when Cracker Barrel first opened in 1969. Hard work, family, and scratch-cooked food made with care. A place where everyone feels at home no matter where you're from and where you're headed. They evaded and avoided the issue altogether. Ladies and gentlemen, let me see if I can explain this and put this into context so that everybody can understand. This is a celebration of America's disgust and distaste for bullshit. Thank you, Good Jeans White. Thank you for your birthday wishes. Thank you. Thank you, Rick Rohr. Thank you. America hates bullshit. I can't. I mean, I'm trying not to be crude. I think it's a perfectly valid word, and it says precisely what it is. America hates this. We hate nonsense. We hate inauthentic. The Democratic Party is still at it. Kamala Harris with her gibberish, word salad, verbal incontinence, logolalia, logorrhea, all of these indicators of just gibberish. We hate this. It's not about Cracker Barrel, because most people now, I don't know if anybody, if this helps, or because tweaking is not a big deal. Steak and Shake, who's really jumping on this whole thing. Steak and Shake is one of this group of people that believe that they're getting into like the beef tallow thing. That's this whole thing. There's this, even this fighting among diets, keto versus, plant-based and vegan is always negative, fake food, fake meat, and there it's this thing. It's this. And by the way, I'm not here to change anybody's mind. I'm merely telling you this is what's happening. This is what I'm seeing. This is what people are saying. Whether you like it or not, it's absolutely the way that is. But what we're seeing right now is people are tired of you and these folks coming around and destroying what we believe to be authentic, legitimate, real, plain old American values. That's what Cracker Barrel is about. It's about changing something with the word cracker and change it. Like I said, Steak and Shake, who's jumping on this, they've done product tweaking and image and, logo a little bit. Sometimes you kind of want to, whatever. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. There are some brands, Budweiser doesn't tweak the label. So understand what we are doing. The Democrats are doing this again. Instead of coming out and defining themselves as a group of people that we can deal with, that we can work with, that can work with the rest of everybody, that's inclusive, open-minded, that's not supercilious, but a group of people that are fundamental. Instead of the Democratic Party doing that, no, they're still pushing out Kamala Harris, or Kamala, as we call her in West Tampa. Why in the name of God? Why in the name of God did anybody, seriously, why did anybody ever allow her, and this is important, why did anybody ever allow her the opportunity of just go away? But they're bringing her back. They're allowing her to go on a book tour. This is the disconnect. A book tour. Book. Verbal. Speaking. Literacy. Say what you want. It's just, I don't know what the words are. I don't know how to even say this. This is how disconnected these people are. This is how disconnected these people are. They don't get it. And they don't care whether they get it or whether you think they've got it, because they stand for nothing that we stand for. And you would think at this DNC summer retreat or meeting, somebody somewhere would have said, we're not going to do this. Okay, so that's that little interesting piece of datum, as they say. That's kind of interesting. Now, did you hear the story about Vanity Fair? This is incredible. Vanity Fair, Melania. Did you hear this story? This blows my mind. Okay. Vanity Fair's new boss reportedly wants First Lady Melania Trump to grace the glossy magazine's coveted cover, leaving disgruntled woke staff threatening to walk out the mother effing door if it goes ahead. The fashion magazine's global editorial director, Mark Giudici, has floated the possibility of putting President Trump's wife and America's First Lady on the cover of the Condé Nast-owned publication as he tries to make his mark in his newly minted role as boss. The mere thought of this is driving people crazy from the lefty staffers. Number one, where is Vanity Fair? Where do you find it? And what the hell does the cover mean? Vanity Fair under Graydon Carter. In the old days, Vanity Fair was one of the most, it was great. I thought it was wonderful. I loved the style. I loved the look. And then, as usual, contaminated by the radical left. Some unidentified staffer says, we are not going to normalize this despot and his wife. We're just not going to do it. We're going to stand for what's right. If I have to work bagging groceries at Trader Joe's, I'll do it. Giudici puts Melania on the cover. Half of the editorial staff will walk out. I guarantee it. Let them walk out. Others, meanwhile, dismiss the outrage, insisting there's no way employees would give up such a prestigious job out of protest. Now, it has always been, and it has been the tradition forever to have the first lady on it. This was the most important. Melania was notably excluded from Vanity Fair and Condé Nast Vogue during Trump's first administration. That's in sharp contrast to Michelle Obama, who graced Vogue's cover 3 times while First Lady. And there's also something as far as the tradition of this. Listen to what I'm telling you. The notion of TDS is still with us. Still with us. Still. Hal 9 Space says it best. They would sell 1 billion copies. This is how stupid they are. This is how insane this is. This is over the top. Let them do it. I told you the story of a friend of ours, a friend of the family, a young person who lost friends of hers in the biz, so to speak, friends of hers, who went absolutely berserk with the fact that she might have been a Trump supporter. Friends who she's known for years turning on her. This is real. So what do we do, my friends? We go out of our way to pull it, to trigger it, to make these people lose their minds. It is that simple. See, there's one thing that the president does, which I think is so interesting. And you can say what you want about President Trump. You could say, but there's one thing that he does, which I think shows a talent that that few people have. Okay. Trump can go out. Trump can pick a topic. Take, for example, the flag burning. Now, you know, and I know that's stupid. The whole notion of it is stupid. However, if 5 members of the Supreme Court say it's flag burning statutes are legitimate, okay, it doesn't matter. It's not absolutely how do I say this? It's not absolutely unconstitutional, but it goes to show you that in the event they decide that this is, well, so be it. So they will say it's constitutional, and that's it. It's the end of it. So there's nothing magical about this. So for whatever reason, okay. So what Trump does is he picks a topic that that draws people out of the woodwork. What is he doing? He has people defending flag burning. He's making people come out in defense of flag burning. This is something Americans do not understand. They may theoretically understand it, they may symbolically understand it, but this is something that Americans do not understand. They don't get it. It's something that they don't grasp. They do not understand it, and they don't want to understand it. They have no interest in understanding it. They don't want to understand it. They despise this. Many people, and they will say they fought for the flag, they died for the flag, and whatever you want. I hope you saw the interview I did with Scott Ritter. Scott Ritter and I made it very, very clear, he did, that as a Marine, all he learned was the flag and the care, the custody, the protocol, how you wear the flag, how you exhibit the flag, how you display the flag, what the flag. I mean, he really, and people do not want to hear about how you're burning a flag. So what does Trump do? Trump has people come out of the woodwork, okay, out of the woodwork to, and this is important, to have a, I guess, he lures people. He forces people, and this is important, he forces people to come out and to, this is important, to actually support and encourage flag burning. And that's what they're doing. He also does these things where he says, I'm going to go into your, Chicago has not had a murder in whatever the particular phrase is. Chicago has not done a phrase. Anyway, make a long story short, he has come along and he's now made Pritzker and other people argue against law and order. He's a genius. He forces these idiots to come out of nowhere and do this thing. Hang on. He forces people to come out of the woodwork to support, and this is critical, to support crime. I mean, I don't know how he does it. I don't know how this guy does it. I don't know what he does. I don't know where I have no earthly idea how this guy does it. I swear to God. It's one of the things which is the most fascinating story. I find it absolutely incredible. How does he do it? How does he do it? That's the most important. How does he do it? He forces people to rise out of, to argue this stuff. He is a genius. And what you need to do and what I need to do, we remind people we're not going to win by going after complicated issues. But Israel, America doesn't give a shit about Israel or Ukraine. I'm telling you right now, there are pockets of people who do. Don't get me wrong. There are there are serious people, but that's not a meat and potatoes issue. Sorry. And some people like Junk Yogurt, and in particular, and Anna Kasparian and Abby Martin, they are seething at they hate Israel. They despise Israel. And they're killing the story because the focus is on their fire-breathing lunacy. You understand what I'm doing? Hang on. That's Mrs. L. By the way, Mrs. L was on my radio show this morning. Oh my God, she was fantastic. And we're going to be on tonight, later on this eve for a bit. I'm going to be doing Redacted today. We did the Ritter yesterday. A lot of great stuff coming along. But in any event, these are the most important issues. And I'm going to go back and do this again. When you are told that, and by the way, this goes to show you this fire-breathing, seething insanity. It's the people who lose their minds, who get arrested, who scream and yell, who this is kind of a tangential note. You really got to back this. You got to back it down. Explain your issue, but come at me not so that I can say you've got a hard on for Israel. You're just, this is And that is precisely what I'm saying. And they're going to say otherwise. They're going to say, no, it's not about that. Yes, it is. It appears to be exactly that. Remember, whenever you do something, whatever it is, if you're so over the top that you seem like you're unhinged and distraught, believe me, don't act like this. Don't. So anyway, most people, dear friends, most people do not, and I say this again, most people do not care anything about Israel. Do you know anybody talking about that? Do you know anybody? I mean, do you know anybody who really cares about this to the point where they're just see? No, I don't. No, I know people who are very concerned about it. I know people who are concerned about anything. So, what I'm trying to tell you is, you've got to find an issue that gets people's attention, that doesn't necessarily make them think that you've got some strange, what am I trying to say? Some strange, focused anger and rage that is not commensurate with that which is going on. Does that make any sense? I hope it does. But let me explain something, lest you be confused. What's happening in the Middle East is beyond horrible. Oh, dear God. It is inconceivable what is happening. Truly, I mean, really, it is horrible. What's happening to children and men and women beyond anything anybody has ever, that I could ever think would even be possible. But for you to make this a national election, no. I know when I'm talking about politics. I know what I'm doing. And one of the things what you have to do is to find an issue that goes for your gut. That doesn't necessarily, how do I say this? That doesn't take a lot of, it's not very complicated, okay? And that's why this Cracker Barrel is so fantastic. This Cracker Barrel issue is so fantastic. This is the thing which is so interesting. Listen, let me explain to you. People hated PC when it first came out, when that name first came out. Okay? And what happened was, it seemed to people that it was unfair, that it was an insincere kind of lunacy. They didn't understand it. Nobody cared about that. Do you remember this? Do you remember how mad people got over the issue of Aunt Jemima, Uncle Ben? Remember that? Remember those issues? Remember how this happened? This is the thing that drove people crazy. So what I say is, once you tell me what drives you crazy, I'll make sure that's all I talk about. I will make sure that that's all we talk about. I will make sure, guaranteed, that we will do everything in our power. Let me ask you something. What was the issue? What drove you crazy when you first heard about it? When I say crazy, what was the thing that made you say, oh, this is the most ridiculous thing in the world? What was it? Uncle Ben? I think Aunt Jemima. Our good friend, look at this, says, so no UFO talks. Happy birthday. No UFO talks. No. But thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. What was it, my friends? What was it? Oh, Cleveland, yes. Indians and rest, yes. Mascots. By the way, I use so much of what we're doing. I remember Uncle Ben. What was wrong with Jemima? Maybe. I'm not really sure. But you're right about that. You're so correct. Cracker Barrel now, deflection. No, you're so, that's the thing that drives people crazy. Removing icons off their party, yes. Cream of wheat guy, yes. In fact, let me ask our friend. Let me ask our GPT friend. What were some of the most famous instances of product brands or mascots being taken off or the subject of controversy based upon race or ethnicity or racism? Product brands, Cream of Wheat, Aunt Jemima, Uncle Ben, Cracker Barrel, Land O'Lakes Butter, Washington Redskins. Name them. Now, this is where ChatGPT it's the most incredible thing in the world. Aunt Jemima, Quaker Oats, PepsiCo, Uncle Ben's, Mars Incorporated. This is by the way, it was based on a real waiter. Cream of Wheat, Land O'Lakes Butter, Eskimo Pie. Did you know that? Chiquita Bananas and Miss Chiquita. Sports, Washington Redskins, Cleveland Indians, Atlanta Braves, Florida State Seminoles. Retail restaurants, Cracker Barrel, Old South. This is really good. Trader Joe's. Products like Trader Joe's, Trader Jose, Mexican food, and Trader Ming's were criticized as racial stereotypes. Broader implications. This is the thing which drives people crazy. And by the by, this is something which I say to you, if that's what drives people crazy, then make sure you bring it up. Make sure you tell people if that's what it is. And the thing about it is that it's just stupid. Do you remember? Another one too. Let me add. Remember Sambo's restaurant? Did you know Sambo's? Sambo's was. What was wrong with Sambo's? It was in 1957. They hated that word. They got racist. Let me see something. Yes, that's the one. You know. Hang on. And Song of the South, Amos and Andy. Butterfly McQueen, Hattie McDaniel, Bojangles Robinson, Shirley Temple. Let me throw this to this list. This is just one of these things where you think to yourself, my God. It's, we are, our history. I'm just going through this right now for the first time. This is the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. This is the part that just, there's a Rorschach test. If I see this, look at this Song of the South. Oh, this is incredible. It makes me sick to my stomach. So anyway, so the purpose of what I'm trying to say is, rather than you and I discussing this and worrying about this, what we should do is we should ask ourselves the question of this. What do you think about the idea of using this as a political theme and the like? Well, that's what we're doing right now. And here's the best. What is it that lures people? Remember something. What is it, my friends, that's going to lure the Democrats? Is it going to be that? Is it going to be this, I don't know what you want to call it. Is it going to be this idea of indigenous, whatever it is? Or is it going to be the fact that they just hate Trump? And what happens when Trump is out of the equation? What the Democrats are not thinking about is that what happens once Trump is out of the equation? If there's no Trump there, what do they really believe in? What do they really believe in that forces their hand, that brings them to the how do I say this? What is it that brings them to the dance, so to speak? What is it? What's the thing that? What do they stand for? Do most Democrats really care about what? Climate? Not really. They kind of say they do. There's the professional Democrat, and then there's the rank and file, the guy who just goes out to vote. Do you think most Democrats here in New York who like Mamdani are socialists? No. They don't even know what a socialist is. They don't know what a socialist is. When the notion of Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security came about, people never thought about, oh, this is like a planned economy. This has all the trappings of Social Security. No, nobody thinks that. Nobody thinks that. Nobody thought that. Nobody cared about that whatsoever. What they said was, I'll take it. It's a very, very simple thing. I will take it. That's the bottom line. And the thing about this whole nonsense is that that's what people have to understand. You see, we sometimes read so much. We love all of this nonsense about labels. We talk about stuff that nobody else talks about. Seriously. Nobody ever talks about this stuff. Nobody ever really talks about the way we think about things. We don't care. Like Mark Levin. Mark Levin is a very interesting man, very smart man, very, very talented. But Mark Levin talks about things that most people have no interest in whatsoever. None. They really, I know I'm sorry. I know people get very upset about this. There's Jam 1042 says, happy birthday to my favorite YouTuber, Natalie from Germany. Thank you, Nat. Thank you so very much. You're so kind. I appreciate that. So far, it's been a wonderful birthday so far. 67 years old, ladies and gentlemen. And moving closely towards whatever we're moving. I think we all know we're moving closely towards. But the point is, it's advancement. So what I'm trying to do is I need to have people just like this stuff. Do you remember when you were, maybe you don't, but when I was in grade school, the coolest thing that we had were STP stickers. Remember STP? Remember Andy Granatelli? STP. And we would go to this place, I guess it was like a gas station or something. And we would get these STP stickers. We have no idea what it was. Not Stone Temple Pilots. You know what I'm talking about. And it was just, there's something that people just love. We have a friend of the family who has that Stanley Cup thing. That Stanley Cup. She has her Stanley Cup. And she walks around with her Stanley Cup and the thing. And I don't know. People are brand crazy. Tattoos. Symbology. Symbolism. That's what it's all about. Symbols and symbology, ladies and gentlemen. And when somebody comes along and they point to something and they understand the symbols, a symbol is a shortcut for something. It allows me the opportunity to come through and cut through something, cut through it by giving you this connector, this thing, and to have you able to say right away, I understand it completely. I understand exactly what this is about. America, what we are, is I will call ourselves coming up. We're going to be most probably voting Republican. More often than not. We are going to be voting. In New York, in the New York race, I'm voting for Curtis Lewa. He's the Republican. Am I voting for him because he's Republican? No. He could be Zoroastrian. He could be Venusian. That's not it. I'm voting for him because I have no choice. I'm voting for him because there's no other way around it. I'm voting for him because when it comes to my beloved city, the only person who can tackle something like this is Curtis Lewa, who really has the most intuitive grasp, grip, and focus on what needs to be done. Guaranteed. Absolutely positively, he gets it. We have Eric Adams, who is, for all practical purposes, a moron, a mouth-breathing rube, an oaf, a monosyllabic oaf. Sorry. You have Andrew Cuomo, who was a ghoul, a frightening, disconnected, predator, bought off, politician of the worst order, just horrible, horrible. And then you have Zoran Mamdani, who is from central casting, plucked from obscurity to be the standard bearer for whatever it is, okay? You got to understand this? Okay. Now, here's the bottom line. I have no choice unless I don't vote. It's Curtis Sliwa. That's it. That's it. He is the only person available. A racist to Eric Adams, who formed years ago the 100 Black Men in Law Enforcement. Incredible. Now here we go. Somebody writes this. Look at this. Genocide supporters. How can you support public genocide and mass starvation and call yourselves men, traitors to humanity, at crimes against humanity, have no statutes of limitation? Stop now. Now, let me ask you something. When you see this, let's do it. Let's do a kind of a focus group. When you see this, what do you say? What do you say when you say this? When you see this, read this. Tell me the first thing that comes to your mind. Genocide with an exclamation. That's an interrobang, by the way, in essence, an exclamation point and a question mark, which means like genocide? You're asking a question. What does this come across to you? This comes across as lunatic, crazy. I don't know what you're talking about. You're screaming at me. How can you support public genocide? So what this does is, see what it's doing? It's yelling at you. It's saying, you're an idiot. What's the matter? It's attacking you. It's not educating you. It's attacking you. Why don't you know about this? Why aren't you doing something? Why? Now, people are suggesting this. I love this. The reason why, and I'm changing the subject, by the way, so that you know this. The word genocide doesn't work because people think that means wiping out a people. They think that is what it means. They think it means wiping out a people. And so many people have said, well, there are Palestinians still there, people in Gaza. If Israel wanted to wipe them, because the term genocide under the 1948 statute means to target somebody in whole or part. Which seems counterintuitive. A partial genocide? Genocide, most people think you're talking about eliminating. Get off this term. Stop using this term. It's loaded. It's wrong. Technically speaking, sure. But America doesn't think technically speaking. It doesn't work like that. But did you see what happened just now? See the way this comes across? This is the way they are. They yell at you. They question your humanity. They tell you that you don't know what's going on. You don't understand something. You don't get it. You're cold. You're heartless. You're a sick bastard. You don't know what I know. You don't understand this. Stop this nonsense. Do something. Stop supporting this. What's the matter with you? How can you? And already you've just turned me off. And everybody else for that matter. Why do people do that? I'll never understand. I'll never, ever know. I mean it. I don't know why people do that. I don't understand. You can't insult people. The only way that you can possibly make things better, make people better, make the world better, is to go out of your way to I guess for lack of a better word, to cajole, to wheedle, to help, to, you know what I mean? It's just it makes it literally makes zero sense why people do this. I have no idea, but yet they do, and they just go crazy. Marjorie Taylor Greene and Anna Kasparian are agreeing with each other. Marjorie Taylor Greene right now and Laura Loomer are making friends. Remember, Laura Loomer, watch what happens. Watch. This is very, very critical. This is a very interesting thing, and I find it so interesting. Have you noticed also, maybe this is a bit esoteric, but I pick up on trends. When somebody jumps on something, Mark Maron comes across now as the elder statesman of comedy. Mark Maron is the elder statesman, the paterfamilias of comedy. He's into comedy. And he's saying that Bill Maher and other people are not funny. They're not comedians. They're not. I find it, I'd love to see when trends emerge. Like every now and then, Tucker will go into his, I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus. I believe in God. I believe in evil. I mean, it's like, okay. It's interesting. You know, it's like, I just like where people land, so to speak, in that respect. I find interesting quirks. I like something Laura Loomer does. She has a giggle. She does a laugh. Almost as though it's almost like inserted and manufactured a laugh that is placed in the equation of I don't know what but if you listen to it, you will notice this. We have a lot of folks in our group, in our satellite of folks who are very interesting. And what I find, remember, when you start off at this level, you got to maintain that level. Candace Owens is kind of losing her bearing because she doesn't know where to go with this. The Brigitte Macron thing just doesn't have any. There's no juice to this. It's not working. You know what I mean? It doesn't work. It doesn't have the same firepower. Nobody cares about this. It's like, move on. Let's move on to something else. So, going back to where we started off initially, the two subjects which we love because we get energized is Kamala Harris, because we just loved mocking her, because they're bringing her out again, and they're reminding you. You think they would say, Kamala, go away, don't ever come back again. We don't want to see you. So anyway, so that's where that is. So my friends, that's it. Let me say something. Today you have been so many wonderful, kind notes. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Thank you for the thoughts. Let me remind you, let me just stop for a second. One of the best things that we do, which I think is interesting, is that I like the fact that we are kind of, sort of, the family mode. I know that may seem kind of corny, but we are the family mode. We are a part of a family. And we're a very weird family. Sometimes a tad argumentative, sometimes seemingly disjointed, but we're not. We love the truth. We love politics. We love the arena. We love discussion. We love the fight. We love all that. And that's kind of what makes us so important and so critical. And that's why it's such a pleasure to be here with you. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. So my friends, thank you so very much. Thank you to our good friend D7. Thank you. And Natalie from Germany, thank you for your thoughts and your kindness. I appreciate that. Mrs. L and I will be back this eve, I think about 6. We're going to be doing a joint address, so to speak, which is going to be fabulous. We'll be doing that tonight at our time at 6 p.m. I want to thank you for everything. Have a wonderful and a great and glorious day. Remember, do not ever lose faith in America. Government's a different story. Political parties are a different story, but never America. You hear what I'm saying? Don't ever let that happen. And I mean that. All right, dear friends, have a great and a glorious day. Please follow Mrs. L. Please follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. Please follow my legal channel at Lionel Legal. And make sure you are subscribed here and you like this video at Lionel Nation. Lionel Nation. All right, dear friends, have a great and a glorious day. We'll see you later. Don't ever change. And until then, remember, my friends, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Dad, dad.